Hello, hello. This is Suzanne Knabe-Nicole from Police Science Doctor with your weekly doses, not weekly doses of police science snippets. Now, one Police Science Doctor is a website that tries to connect practical, applied operational policing and law enforcement and intelligence and military and everyone working in those fields with the research that is conducted in those areas. And there's usually not a very good channel of communication between the two. A lot of fantastic research being done in police science, evidence-based policing, investigative psychology, forensic psychology, but there is no very good established way of actually feeding that down to the frontline practitioners actually doing the work. So that's what Police Science Doctor tries to do. I try to bring all those research findings right into your lab. One of the ways in which I do this is through these police science snippets. So I go through journal articles in the fields that I mentioned just now and try to find 3 bits or snippets of information that are actually usable rather than being theoretic or being, some research establishing some or evaluating some kind of methodology, something that people like you can use straight away. I then put them into an email, and everybody who's on the Police Science Doctor email list gets them into their inbox every Tuesday, including the links to the original research. And then I also come onto social media and talk about them, put them in a little bit of context to make them more real. So this is set broadcast in which I do this. So the first snippet for this week is about drugs on the dark net. So people basically buying drugs that are then being delivered right into their letterbox. So the research found that consumers ordering drugs on the dark net rank reliable and undamaged delivery of goods and the reliability of the vendors as the most important when it comes to risk perception on whether to buy or not to buy on the dark web and from this particular person. It is possible that influencing the delivery-related risk perception of potential customers could effectively reduce demand. So I'm not quite sure what the exact examples are that this research then goes into further detail on, but I'm not sure if it's about sabotaging the delivery process, maybe putting something in place where postal parcels are being searched in distribution centers, where maybe there's a media campaign to say that actually we're going to employ dogs deploy dogs to sniff out any parcels and to somehow maybe sabotage the delivery process or make that more risky to reduce the demand of drugs being bought on the net. However, I have also heard a different argument that actually doing this online could potentially reduce violence because we're not having street gangs basically fighting over street corners and territories and things like that. So there's, might be give and take here. The second snippet for this week is about trauma training for police. And it says, following a trauma awareness training session, police displayed more trauma-informed attitudes towards victims and witnesses than suspects. Perhaps not surprising. This may require more input as adverse childhood experiences often feature heavily in offenders' backgrounds. So there's been a lot of talk about the fact that actually offenders are victims as well in the vast majority of cases. Furthermore, female officers have higher trauma-informed attitudes towards both groups, that's the suspects and witnesses and victims, than male officers, indicating they are more responsive to this kind of training. Perhaps they're also more naturally inclined to have this kind of understanding and engagement with the public as well, which is why we need more female police officers. And the third snippet for today is about social media for investigations. Police increasingly use social media to gather intelligence about organized crime, investigate runaways, and online crimes. They mainly use Facebook for that, as many officers are personally familiar with it. However, other platforms such as YouTube and Twitter and others are also relevant and should be used more, perhaps following training on how best to do so. So this is basically saying that police need to go outside of their comfort zone of using mainly or just Facebook to do these kind of investigations and to use social media to help in the operational work and expand further, because the public do not just use Facebook. So these were the snippets for today. I hope there was something for you. As you can see, this is snippet number 130, which means there's a lot of previous week's content. And if you're a subscriber to the email list of Police Science Doctor, which is free, let me just put the banner back on, you do get access to the read page on the Police Science Doctor website. And on there, you can actually find every week's PDF, every week's snippets as a PDF. So you can download those and have them as a library if you want. So just Google Police Science, go to the Police Science Doctor website and enter your details into the form that pops up. If it doesn't pop up on your computer, just go to the bottom of every page and you'll find a registration form there. And you can be added to the free email list. And there's no rubbish that gets sent out, in my opinion, of course. But it's the snippets and it's the announcement about training opportunities from organizations around the world and other things that I think are of use to you. But if you don't agree, you can leave the list anytime. So that was it for this week, and I hope to see you again next week. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching. I hope you found this content useful. You can get access to each episode's transcript with key learning points, timestamps, and references if you get yourself onto my mailing list. Just go to the main website on policesciencedoctor.com, and on the bottom of each page you will find a sign-up form for notifications of new content. Just enter your first name, your preferred email address, and the type of organization you work for. You will not get any spam. This is just for me to let you know about new content and for you to get access to all the transcripts.